afternoon, everyone. British Lebanese. We have elections coming up in Lebanon, which is a joke, isn't it? Elections. Elections via what? How are they going to elect? Are they going to print their thumbs in ink, put it down on paper, come in physically and do it, sign, tick boxes? Do the people think that elections are elections instead of selections? The Lebanese elections will be held via using electronics, using a computerized system, a package where everything in it is Zionist. Everything in that software is Zionist. Be you in a casino looking at fruit machines, for example, the Casino de Lebanon, the best chances of winning money at the casino there was if you play with the fruit machines. Now, that was what I was told. However, if the software for those machines is able to identify you, your face, it can recognize whether it should be paying you out or not. So the bit from, this is all my view. The bit from, if you want to earn the best chances of earning money out of Casino de Lebanon, that bit there, I got from someone. Doesn't matter who. If you're smart enough, you'll be able to review that from my podcasts. So there's a tip there, but my tip would suggest that the software is owned by the cult. One of our school friends, school classmates, qualified to be a teacher, a lawyer. But he was studying law in a specific field, and that field was the gaming laws, the regulations of these games that you go online. So he had a specific niche. He came over from America, came to our school. We joined the school when we were 11 years old. Oops. And he later became AIPAC's leader, one of the leaders in AIPAC. You know what I mean, AIPAC, don't you? The Jewish lobby. Yep. He started to talk for the Jewish lobby from my school, one of my schoolmates. Very good talker. He was a good talker when we were coming into school, waiting to get for the register to be heard to start our classes. But the computerized systems, he later worked for Israel in different avenues. Obviously he's working for Israel. He no longer works for them now. I'm led to believe. He's working for some other IT firm or something like that. I don't know what it is. but I've never had contact with him after school. I tried, but these people, once they get elevated in their profile, they forget about their schoolmates. So the electronics in the voting system in Lebanon is a dangerous apparatus to be even put on, to have your personal details on, your private information. That all goes to Israel. And I don't know how they're going to change the ways that the elections are going to be held. What alterations is the cult going to do in order to gain control? Effectively, that's what it is. It's to gain more power in the country, to have ultimate power in Lebanon is exactly what the agenda of the Western-backed politicians. Now, I've got some discussion with you politicians, so if you're online, or if you know someone who is online, I have a discussion I'll be bringing up shortly about the call centres that should be called service centres of today. So these expats across the world who are going to vote from where they are abroad, I find that, is it really worth it? Why don't you just hand the plate over to them instead of use their disgusting, flawed election systems? Recently we've heard talk about Lebanon wanting to open up call centres. Well, you know, I was the one who mentioned it to Saeed Hariri in tweets when he was interacting with me, and it hit our discussion, our chat there, the interaction, hit front page international headlines. And I brought up that those points there at that time, saying that we should have, because our linguistic skills in Lebanon, you know, most of the people in Lebanon, they speak 3 languages. Most of the people, English, Arabic and French. Quite fluently, you know, they understand. And their accents is unlike the Asian call centres. So West Asian call centres are in my view, up and coming call centres to push on for investors. Now, I consider myself expert in your contractual obligations. I've worked with third-party vendors 27, 30 years, long time, longer than that, third-party contractual vendors. And I know exactly what they do, the third-party vendors. Meaning, let me elaborate on that a little bit. Some of you are not as literate as I assume. A third-party vendor is a contractor who has has a service which they provide you, and they are bounded by that contract and the terms and the conditions and the service level agreements and the rest of it that goes with it. So I've worked as a contractor who, with its employers, they're so greedy that they love to cut corners. When they make the contracts, they want to cut corners to save money. And I've been involved in, very much my life was revolved around contractual third-party vendors, what they do as a service, different avenues of profession, including your building engineering and your computer, the IT world, and even your distribution and logistics. So I've worked as a third-party vendor in those fields more. And I've also run government contracts in this country here in London, ranging from the employment service to my own contracts, where I gained 5 courier contracts within 1 year, and I started employing people to work for me when I was quite a tender age, actually. I think, I can't remember for sure, about 23, I think, onwards. So I became the highest earner in the in my school, highest earner after my school, of the people, the friends that were in my school, through that contract. And even the ones that were working in your banking, the brainy ones, weren't earning what I was earning at the time. So the background that I've had with contractors is considerable, to the extent that I believe that this new news about Lebanon wanting to kick off some service centres and provide that service, I think that's fantastic. I think that's good news to generate the work and put some dignity back in the gentlemen and the ladies in Lebanon and the youths, to allow them to have some dignity and be able to afford to look after their families and themselves and their future. I think it's overdue, but I also think at the same time a lot of people have left Lebanon. Much of them are not coming back. But this particular project of call centres in Lebanon, I really do like the idea of that. I think that we could do a better job than your third Asians, how are you? Asian suppliers can do. They do a terrible job, absolutely terrible. There is a serious communication and language problem, an accent problem with these call centres, to the extent that the level of quality service goes down drastically. I mean, now we're being even pushed onto chat, which is a worse way of dealing with customer service. There's nothing like a human voice that can talk to you and answer your questions instead of writing it down. Not everybody is as literate as they would like, and the current world of call centres and service centres of today has gone so downhill that it can only be deemed as absolutely terrible, the worst we've ever had. Even when we had call centres, it was better than this. And when the ITIL Foundation was introduced, that was clarified. The ITIL, as in Information Technology Infrastructure Library. So, given that we can, I mean, I even thought of actually becoming a trainer for the ITIL Foundation course itself. And had I not have been made redundant, not redundant, but had I not have went through an eviction where all my life property was taken, promised to put in storage, and Islington Council made that promise and then decided to go and auction it off. Until today, I don't have a lawyer to deal with that. But that was one avenue to become an ITIL trainer and to go to Lebanon and to train up some of the universities in this course, in this important course. It's like a passport to get into the IT world. Once you have that, you can get into the IT world a better chance than other people who don't. And bottom line, experience will always rise above job applicants. Experience, even if you have some of the best qualifications you could possibly have, one of the most important things is, do you have an experience? And if you don't have experience, there's a big downfall. There were other avenues that I was looking into. One of them was into the cyber world, the cyber security, because that is a very, very important part of any country's youth to learn, any country's assets over government, to have these people who understand the cyber securities. So, being someone who's very familiar with this, that is something I'd like to put out there into the Lebanese government. Although I do rant about your lack of governing, which you are and you remain ungovernable to date, 2025, Lebanon, as they did many years ago when that phrase came out that Lebanon is, quote, ungovernable.
4, 2, archway.
So the elections, I have absolutely no hope in them. I think that the Lebanese politicians should hand over the positions to a more safer government than they're with right now. All the enforcement jobs in the country, ranging from being in charge of the legal system to the enforcements of the policing, those roles, and also any other form of courts work, everything should be controlled by the anti-Zionists in Lebanon. All that, as well as others that I'm not geopolitically aware. I have no computer science in politics, no knowledge of it. But there's where I stand with this. I've done a couple of videos today. One of them, as I was sitting down, I actually split my jeans, but you didn't see it. So that was a short 5-minute clip. And I've done another video where it went on for about 40 minutes, but I kept on getting connection problems. Don't know why, using the same supplier.
4.
But I spoke in length, and again it was shortened. It wasn't all of it, and it stopped before I finished my talk. So check them out. In the meantime, I just wanted to put that word out there, and on that note, I bid you a good day. Oh, by the way, tonight I'll tweet the horse tips tonight.